Coach, talk about the poise of your team in last week's game at Prairie View, coming back from a 14-0 deficit.
Yeah, we talked about all the external things that would prevent us from being focused and being dialed in that game because of, the travel, and it's a far place to go. And, of course, the scenery there is a bit different. It's not typical college stadium. So, all the things that could distract you. And before you know it, we were a bit distracted. And Prairie View came out and was playing fast on offense. And before we knew it, we were down 14-0. But, we talk to these guys all the time about, the mark of a man is how you respond during adversity. And, we had some guys that step up and make some plays, get refocused and dialed in, and we were able to pull the victory out.
One of those players you talk about, Daniel Dowell, the quarterback, talk about his performance coming in, not only in the first quarter due to Gray's injury, but being in that 14-0 deficit.
Yeah, whenever you have a backup quarterback, you want to have confidence in him. And, we've tried to put Duhart in game-type situations this year, whether we had a lead or, or just, depending on how the game was going. Never had he, had to come in with us being, down some points. So we wondered how he would respond to that. We do understand and know that he has a great grasp of the system, a real smart guy. And he came in and, he played like we, was hoping he would play. I mean, he was real poised. He game managed really well. He pinpoint passer. I mean, we know he can do that. He did a good job of doing that, and we're proud of him, and we think he has that type of ability to to continue to get better.
You speak of external factors, perhaps the ultimate Mother Nature reared her head at halftime, right. Nearly a 2-hour delay. Talk about going through that. Had you ever experienced anything like that before?
No, that whole, rain delay, lightning, I'd never experienced one that lasted that long. I experienced one back when I was playing ball that was before the game started, a little delay. But, right at halftime and it being 2 hours long, again, the external things, being in the gym, they had their cheerleaders and a whole bunch of other people in the gym, and basketball. I mean, it was just it was a different atmosphere. But our coaches, they use that time after a while to have a walkthrough, both offense and defense, to kind of refocus before we had to go back out. I think it worked. It helped us. Dr. Silver even came in and gave us a stay focused type deal and come back out fighting. So we appreciate that. But the coaches did a good job and the kids did a good job of staying focused or refocusing and then going back out and overcoming that.
Looking ahead to this week's game for the third straight year, comes down to Alabama State and Southern with the chance to win the Eastern Division title.
Yeah, sometimes to find out what happens in the future, you look back. I mean, history have a thing of repeating itself. But we have a lot of respect for Southern and their program, their tradition there. They've always had great fan support and outstanding players. And, of course, it's no different this year. Dating back 2 years ago, we were able to overcome them and win a game there in Baton Rouge, which allowed us to go and play in a SWAC championship game. Last year, we scored late and felt pretty good about winning the game, which would have allowed us to go to the SWAC championship game. And, we just, got a little out of whack there in the area to drive down on us, which prevented us. So, the human part of us want to think about all the external things and the stuff the help that we need to get in the game. But, we got to focus our guys in on, taking care of our business in all three phases and just focusing on that and, and let the chips fall where they may.
Southern offensively perhaps has the strongest passing attack in the conference. Talk about the problems they present on offense in the passing game.
Yeah, their offense is, they run the real West Coast scheme. I mean, this is the only school in our conference that really runs the pro-style West Coast passing concept. And, their quarterback, Douglas, he does a great job of managing the game and, taking ownership in their scheme. They got two really good receivers, Dawson and the other kid Barry. They're both solid players, and they've been making a lot of plays. Now if you look at their stats, their leading rusher is only rushed for 260 some yards, and but they're at first in passing, which is a huge imbalance there. So in a game like this, where it's their last home game and they want to send their seniors out the right way, I imagine they're going to throw it around a lot, and try to expose us in some areas. But we're confident in our secondary, and the most important thing this week, because the West Coast offense is such a timing offense, you gotta knock guys off their routes. And being a former receiver, I know what it's like and what it feels like to be bumped around there in the slot by those linebackers. So that's going to be important that we do that.
What would be the greatest challenge for Alabama State to be successful on Saturday night?
Well, really us. The more we realize that it's more about us than any thing else, then we'll be fine. If we just go and play and take ownership of the scheme and let every play have a life of its own and be in the moment, and just take what you've been coached, I think we'll be fine. Again, playing on the road in front of their fans, that's always a challenge, but that's why you play. You want to go on the road, you want to have an opportunity to play against a good team. But offensively, we just gotta play fast. I think that's the winning edge for us, just like it is all the time. Playing fast, getting our playmakers involved. We've had guys step up here over the last couple of weeks. Greg will be back, so he needs to manage the game and just be Greg. And defensively, it's really just being disruptive up front. When they're taking their 3-step drops and trying to get the ball out quick on these slant routes and quick outs. We got to get pass rush, and if we don't get there, we got to get hands up. The quarterback not the tallest guy. And then, again, like I mentioned, our linebackers have to be really physical on these receivers, rerouting them when they're out in passing patterns.